Greetings, Groaners! Here at episode 137, we find ourselves in a conundrum. What'll be first? Episode 150 or 2,000 downloads of our humble podcast? It's by the grace of groans, comedy, admin Nicole and myself, and of course, you dear Groaners, that we got this far. Keep pushing with us, and we'll smash one, and the other will follow. What have you got coming to you this week? You've got your weekly lineup of games. Admin Nicole has gone all bodacious and is hanging 10 with the Hawaiian facts for this episode. She doles out the facts on King Kamehameha Day, that's June the 11th. 4 facts over the course of the episode. We'll just call them Hawaii facts, because no disrespect, I'm not saying King Kamehameha Day facts, 1, and so on. Sorry, side note, because I redid this earlier, I changed my mind. What's more wordy torture to me, huh? Let's just say King Kamehameha Day every single time I say the fact, because I know my admin Nicole is smiling her head off right now, knowing what she's done to me. Thank you, admin Nicole. Your games this week are Don't Quote Me on That, that's the movie one. Talking Nonsense, that's the reverse one. Give Me the Question, where you get the question first, then you've got to give me... No, you've got the answer first. I've done it again. You give me the answer first, then you've got to match up with the right question. I give you the answer first. This will make sense eventually. I'm confusing myself. I'm leaving this in. And then finally, you've got Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. To accompany the games, we've got more Groans and Lunacy with some of the usual sections that pop up during the show. Your audience groan this week is from Dade of Longbenton via email. Speaking of groans though, I smell my time to shine with my groans to start us off. People who talk with fake posh voices really fast. Look here, you four-sounding chipmunk wannabe. Just stop it. You don't sound posh or clever, and no one is impressed apart from your carbon copy friends that no one cares about. Don't be ashamed of your roots, and drop the high-pitched bitchiness of your voice, especially when you say the word like. Ugh. People who can only talk about one thing. I have a friend, and he's a solid guy, but it seems conversation doesn't fly to some people. If you give him an inch, he'll talk about that one thing until anyone next to him turns into a jungle-bound psychopath. Please, if you're one of these people, just learn people are getting triggered by you. Stop it there and change the conversation. People who raise their voices on public transportation, but talk normally off of it. Am I the only one who's noticed this? Not everyone riding the train or bus etc. wishes to hear your conversation. Yet there you go with your painful yammering, but when you get off, it's like someone turns your volume down. Surely it should be the other way around. It's people like this who I wish had their knees and elbows smashed with magic hammers. That's my groans out the way for another day within another episode. Your turn will come later, Groaners. We give way to Admin Nicole's first King Kamehameha Day fact. King Kamehameha Day, June 11th. King Kamehameha I was a great warrior and leader who united the Hawaiian Islands in one royal kingdom in 1810 after years of conflict. Kamehameha was also legendary for his strength, reportedly overturning the Naha stone, which weighed approximately 3.5 tons. Wow, that's heavy. More facts to come from Nicole later, but it's game time now with Don't Quote Me on That. This is a test of movie knowledge, Groaners. Those playing live, you call out after I give all the movie facts, and those not live, call out whenever you wish. You might get the answer. Only difference is that those not live get the real voice, meaning the actor or actress or whatever it is, and those live get my voice, whereas I'm not as big a celebrity. Round 1.
I'm right here, but you've got to shoot straight.
The movie starred Harrison Ford and spawned a point-and-click game and a sequel over 30 years later. This movie and The Thing were released in 1982, but were beaten at the box office by E.T. the Extraterrestrial. However, both The Thing and this movie went on to achieve cult status in later years. The science fiction film was directed by Sir Ridley Scott. Go Groaners Play Along Live, give me your answers please. Those at home, if you haven't done your answer, do it now by pressing pause, then answer. What you got, Groaners Live? Anything you got coming in there? Someone's put Alien, it's a good guess, that's a very good guess. I think we've got some comedians here. Someone's put Inspector Gadget. I don't think Harrison Ford's ever played Inspector Gadget, but okay. Any more? Sorry, those who have just joined us. You missed the ones that I've only just done. You've missed round 1. You can still score points on round 2, don't worry. Which we'll be moving on to in a second. Any more? Any more guesses? Any more? No, it's not Star Wars. I know Harrison Ford's been in Star Wars, but come on. Nope. Moving on. Round number 2.
Kane, Lambert, Parker, Brett, Ash, and Captain Dallas are dead.
This science fiction film was also directed by Sir Ridley Scott. At early screenings of this movie in 1979, theatre goers were so scared that they asked to be moved to the back of the screen. Sorry, moved back from the screen I should say. For the first 6 minutes of the film, there's no dialogue. Go Groaners Live, answers please. Those at home, you might have wanted to shout your answer out. Here's where you pause, have a think, answer then unpause. What you got, Groaners Live? Answers please. People are typing, people are typing. Someone's throwing a guess up for round 1. I'll let you have it. Blade Runner. Okay, I'll let you have that. I'll let you have that guess. Ricky, you might have got it right, you may not have. I'll let you know. Someone's put in Space Odyssey. That's a really good guess for round number 2. Really good guess. But I don't think the characters are named Kane, Lambert, Parker, Ash, and Captain Dallas. Any more guesses, Groaners Live? Someone's put Aliens. Okay. Someone's put Alien 3. Okay. I think we'll go along a pattern here. If I see someone put up... You're joking. Alien Resurrection. Okay. And someone's put Alien. Okay, so by process of elimination, they put all the Alien films on there. Okay. Moving on. Round number 3.
You guys are doing this. You guys are doing this, right? You can control water. That's your technology, but why are you doing this?
Ed Harris had such a traumatic experience shooting the movie that he refused to go into detail about it for years. One of the few things he said about it was, asking me how I was treated on, movie title redacted, is like asking a soldier how he was treated in Vietnam. Additionally, 40% of all live action principal photography was actually shot underwater, probably why he and the other actors had a hard time. One of the first films to make proper use of CGI technology. The techniques used in this movie went on to be used by the same director, James Cameron, when he made another movie, Terminator 2. And last one for this, for round 2 anyway, Michael Biehn was bitten in this movie by a female character. He's also bitten by a female actor in The Terminator and Aliens, all directed by James Cameron. Go Groaners Live, give me your answers please. Those at home, you've probably already done it. Yell your answer out and put it here. What you got? Sorry, I should say round 3. I call this round 2. Sorry, Groaners, this is round 3. Any guesses for this one? This is a really tricky one, so I'm sorry if you don't get it. I believe the audience Play Along Live are stumped. But the audience out there, Groaners around the world, you may have it. The answers will come later in the show, but now we move on to something a bit creepier with, well, that's creepy. I read this story from BuzzFeed about what the original poster deemed to be a creepy house. It doesn't say where they are from or exactly where the house is. Their parents bought a house situated in the middle of nowhere, probably why they don't know where it is. The person who first owned the house died by their own hand in the garage. The next man who owned the house decided to rent the house to a friend. The friend died while living in the house, though it doesn't say how. The man then sold the house to the poster's parents. The man who sold the house then died 2 weeks after his parents closed the deal on the house. Before moving in, their dad made friends with a couple in town, and after hearing about the house, the wife of the couple insisted on coming by and smudging the place. This pretty much means cleansing it of evil, I believe. Their dad didn't believe in any hearsay about the house being haunted, but he let her do it anyway. However, clearly it didn't work, because their dad died an untimely death a few months later in a freak accident at the house. If this is real or not, I don't know, but that cannot all be coincidence if it's real. Also, real or not, it definitely falls into the category of, well, that's creepy. We've had our creepy, but let's pose that question of the universe, which it hates, with why oh why. So Father's Day is coming up. I believe it's next week, I want to say. But this is early because it couldn't wait. They've released Father's Day crumpets in Morrison's. I believe it has the word dad etched into it. But they're a week and a bit early. The product doesn't keep that long. Gimmick too early? I just have to ask, why oh why? Why would you put out crumpets that are going to be expired before Father's Day? Come on. Admin Nicole brings us more facts about King Kamehameha Day with fact number 2. On December the 22nd, 1871, King Kamehameha V proclaimed a national holiday to honour and celebrate his grandfather and the father of the Hawaiian kingdom. Originally, the people of Hawaii wanted to mark the legacy of Lord Kapawai, Kamehameha V, on his birthday, December the 11th. Being the humble chief that he was, he opted to honour his grandfather instead and pushed the holiday far away from his birthday as possible, hence the arbitrary date of June 11th. Thus, June 11th, 1872 was the very first Kamehameha Day holiday ever celebrated. More facts about this to come later on in the show. Hitting up another game now, we play Give Me the Question, where you get the answers first and then you get the question. Well, you got to give me the question. Finally, I get it right. Round 1. Your answer, I may mispronounce this, is Sahatsiu. That's S-A-H-A-T, C with a little sort of apostrophe under it, I-U. Your questions are A. What is the name given to a Canadian Army's all-terrain vehicle? B. What is the actual surname of the pop star Rita Ora? Or C. What is a Colombian dish made with rice and meat steamed in tree bark? Groaners live, give me your questions please. Those at home, pause, have a think, and then give me your questions. What you got, Groaners live? What you got? We've got a load that have just flown in for C. Any more? Nope, people are not breaking away from C. So, yep, there we go. As soon as I said that, B's. Okay, more C's, more B's. Okie doke, we have a split, Groaners. Moving on, round number 2. Your answer is aura. That's O-R-A, not auras in spiritual aura. Your questions are A. What is an Albanian word meaning time? B. What is the name of an orange-coloured fruit that grows in the Maldives? Or C. What is the name of the next car Kia are going to release? Go Groaners live, give me your questions please. Those at home, you know what to do. B's have flown in there. C's have flown in there. We are getting a split. Mega amount of splits so far. Okay. And we have a couple of A's there. Kind of got a spread. Okay, moving on. Round number 3. Your answer is cesium. That's C-E-S-I-U-M. A. Your questions are A. What is the Latin word which basically means to come to a stop? B. Which metal belongs to a family of metals that react strongly with air? Or C. What was the name of the sailboat that won the Around the World boat race in 1991? Go Groaners live, hand them over. Those at home, you know what to do. We've got B's flying in there. Bees are flying in there. I think the Groaners know something I don't. Okay, the correct questions will be unveiled later. I said one of you will get a turn later as well, and now it's your time with the audience groan. Dade from Longbenton, Newcastle via email. That's how we put his in this week. When people cannot write into boxed areas properly or uniformly, it really does my head in. By the way, I work for the HMRC. My handwriting is rubbish, Dade, but I do try. If anyone from Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs is listening, Dade did not use his work email to send this in. Good brief groan, Dade. Thank you very much. If you want to take part in the show like Dade did, Send in a Hero or Zero of the Week nomination. Send us in a story, an Oh Unlucky nomination, an Oh Unlucky story. Anything that you think will help the show, even possible ideas, you can do so on a multitude of ways. You can chuck a comment on any of the platforms you listen on, particularly Podbean and YouTube. You can drop us an email, just like Dade did, to thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. You can join the fun in live, where we usually record on Discord at 8:30 Greenwich Mean Time at the Groan Zone group on Discord. You can join us on Facebook groups under the Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. You can even message myself, that's Mystery Groaner, or admin Nicole, that's Nicole Amos, on Facebook Messenger. There are so many ways, and there'll be more coming in the future. It's ridiculous how many ways you can contact us. But don't forget, show some love in the comments, drop likes, anything you can to show us that you love the show. We really appreciate it. Reverting back to Creepy now, we have admin Nicole's Creepy Corner. Your story for episode 137 is Love Transcends All. While Viola was the floor below dealing with the primal of light, everyone else had come face to face with the primal of life. The man looked as unhinged as ever. The bags under his blood-red eyes, the slow stagger in his movement. This was a man who didn't care about his own well-being. A man who only cared about results and didn't care how he would come to get them. The old man demanded to know where his wife was, which led the primal of life to laugh in a rather sinister way. He was more than happy to oblige to a request like that. He clicked his fingers with a smile, and from behind him came a woman, dishevelled and limping as she stumbled towards them. This was without a doubt Dawn, the old man's wife. She truly was brought back to life, yet the pain shone through her face. She was alive, yet her flesh was rotting. No doubt an expected outcome. The dead should never be brought back after all. Once the soul is severed from the body, there is no reattaching them. It is common knowledge to all who live that life has meaning purely because there is death. The soul leaves the body after death to be reincarnated, an eternal process for an eternity of lives. Dawn had been dead for so long, there was no body to go back to. The primal of life hastily pulled one together, no doubt from other failed experiments. This world was full of experiments, torturing people constantly and without hope. Now we stood in front of them, enjoying the anguish on their faces. One could easily assume that his mind was long gone by now. The man in front of them was merely a monster. Who knows what else he had done and to whom? The primal of life sat down in his chair, licking his lips as if to enjoy what he was about to witness. He simply told them either Dawn will kill them or the old man will kill her. A decision he knew the old man would never make, one he could never make. Yet as Valencia stepped forward to end this herself and spare the old man further pain, he grabbed her arm to stop her. Then he looked at Grim and asked if he could save her soul. Her soul has been fragmented. It's not whole anymore, even though it's all there. I'm sorry, but at this point there's no saving her, not even her soul. I don't know what will happen if she dies, but her hourglass has long been empty. I can't even touch her. She can die, but even I don't know what will happen after that. She's out of my jurisdiction now, Grim explained. The old man sighed. In a way, it was an answer he was expecting, yet he knew this was something only he could do. He pulled a dagger from his pocket, looking at it for far too long. This was a choice he never wanted to make, yet he knew it was a choice he was always meant to make. This was something dark, something that should have broken him, but not this time. For he knew as much as this would harm him, it was the only thing he could do to set free his wife from the unending torture she had to suffer through. He took a firm grip on the dagger and slowly walked towards his wife. The primal of life smiled. This was exactly what he wanted, yet he needed more. He wasn't enjoying himself enough, so he forced Dawn to fight. She refused, then she began clutching her head in pain. The primal of life took precautions to make sure she would obey, yet she refused nonetheless and kept resisting despite the pain, until the old man stood in front of her and her eyes pooled with tears as she told him it would be right in the end. As they both wept, the old man raised his ever-shaking hand and plunged the dagger into her heart. She fell to the ground and the old man caught her. Valencia was done watching. Standing on the sidelines and doing nothing, she ran her fingers across her arm and reached in, pulling out a star. She then fashioned it into a blade, and with one swift movement, she stood behind the primal of life. Too engrossed in his entertainment, he didn't even notice her approach. With a swift movement and seething rage on his face, Valencia plunged the star blade right into his throat before ripping it out again. The primal of life dropped to the floor, seemingly dead at last, as she stood over him with a rage she didn't know she had. The old man couldn't hold back his tears as his wife began to fade from his life once again. I'm sorry. I was wrong to think I ever deserved your love, but I swear to you, as I did on our wedding day, I will never love another. I remembered everything once the darkness fixed me. I knew what I did. I could never ask for your forgiveness, nor could I rush to join you both. I had no right. Yet here I am, killing you all over again. No hesitation, I just did it, and now I'm losing you all over again. I'm not worthy of the honour of loving you, the old man explained. Dawn smiled, and raised her hand to the old man's face. She knew her time was up, and she knew there was no coming back this time. We kept that a secret from you because we love you. Those monsters destroyed you and forced you to do it. The man I fell in love with never changed. Despite the hard days and the secrets you tried to hide to keep us safe. I have no regrets in loving you, and will find you in every lifetime, no matter how long it will take. We promise to remember every lifetime for eternity. So don't break that promise. You know I could never love anyone as I do you. You saved me now just as you saved me so many times before. We save each other, don't we? No matter what happens, there will always be the three of us, and that's enough. I'm sorry I couldn't stay by your side in this life, though. Know that I want to do some more than anything. Don't forget that the monsters are those who torture and destroy the innocent, forcing them into unimaginable things. The monsters would never torture themselves endlessly for their actions. They have no remorse. My husband, the man I will forever love, has never let go of the pain he felt, nor has he stopped torturing himself for it. You were not, and never have been a monster, she replied. Her hand fell from his face to her side, and her body began to glow and fade. Tiny balls of light hovered in front of him, in her place, slowly changing into bright blue butterflies before they flew up out of the tower towards the safety of the moon. The old man couldn't stop himself as the tears poured out of his eyes, and he screamed in pure agony. Valencia wiped the blood off her dress and face and sat beside him, wrapping her arms around him. To her, it was all she could do in that moment, as she let him feel everything he needed to. Whew! Emotional overload there, Nicole. Am I crying? Am I? Am I not? Who's peeling onions? Who's doing it? You! Out there, stop it! Well written once again, Nicole. Sticking with Nicole, here's another fact about King Kamehameha Day. A highly revered leader, Kamehameha is honoured each year with numerous celebrations across the islands. Downtown Honolulu hosts once a celebration where hundreds of leis, that's L-E-I-S, at least 30 feet long, or draped over the 15-foot statue of the celebrated ruler. Other celebrations include parades, a plethora of floral arrangements, and of course, the traditional Hawaiian hula. Nearing the end of the facts now, we got one more to go. But now, earlier than usual in the show, we have Hero of the Week. HIV has been with us for such a long time that moving towards a cure has thought to have long been impossible. Heroic researchers and scientists at the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity in Melbourne have now found a way to force the virus out of some human cells it was hiding within. What this means is that this may allow the immune system or drugs to recognize the virus and attack it. This could mean researchers are one step closer to a cure. You guys are heroes for this, and this gives hope for the future of people with this disease. Simply outstanding. I smell another game now in the form of talking nonsense. It is now time to unscramble utter gobbledygook. I am talking about in each round. Round 1. You can hang 10 when you do this. Your nonsense is... If this. Pause your groaners, have a little think, answer, then unpause. Round 2. Some people wear these when sailing or kayaking, but you don't actually have to. Your nonsense is a... spell. Pause your groaners, have a little think, answer, then unpause. Final round, round 3. You might not want to be up the creek without one of these. Your nonsense is a... Pause your groaners, have a little think, answer, then unpause. What on earth was I talking about, groaners? You'll find out soon enough. We have a final King Kamehameha Day fact now, and there is no way I'm reading this. No offense, Hawaiian folks. Okay, I'll give it a go. King Kamehameha's full name is Kalani Paeawohi Ol Kileni Kilegi. Nah, no way. I was ready for this. I'm going to stop myself talking here, and then AI is going to come on and do it for me. Take it away, AI.
Kalani Paia Wohio Kalakini Kalia Kui Kamehameha O Ialani I Kaiwika Kawi Pa Liho Liho Punuia Kea.
See, there is no way I could have done that. Thank you, Google AI. Also, his surname, Kamehameha, was given to the energy attack that Goku can do in the Dragon Ball animation series. We now turn over to the game answers to see who scored points amongst those live and those listening later. Talking nonsense. Your nonsense for round 1 was surfing. Your nonsense for round 2 was a wetsuit. And your nonsense for round 3 was a paddle. Questions please, with give me the question. Round 1. Your correct question was B. What is the actual surname of the pop star Rita Ora? Her family added Ora to the end of the family name so people could pronounce it easier. Round 2. Your answer was Ora. Your correct question was A. What is an Albanian word meaning time? Round 3. Your answer was cesium. Your correct question was B. Which metal belongs to a family of metals that react strongly with air? And at times, they can also ignite. Well done if you got points here. Those were rough. And now moving on to don't quote me on that. For round 1, your answer was Blade Runner. For round 2, your answer was Alien. I believe someone put Alien for Blade Runner. You were one round out. Unlucky. And round 3, the answer was The Abyss. Well done those that got it with movie knowledge. And from last week's What the Hell Is This? The human body does have cells and bacteria, but the picture itself, although blown up, was actually an ultra small bacteria. Fair play if you didn't get that one, it was really hard. Well done to everyone who scored points this week. Taking us out now was Admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety. Yep, she's factored us all through the episode, but just to squish our brains some more, she's hit us with an anagram, which is Nigel, fetch an iron leg. The clue, best known as the founder of modern nursing. I think I've got this one in the bag. For maybe the second time in the history of the Groan Zone. Wow. See if I got it right, and of course yourselves, you may have got it right, Groaners. How? Tune in and groan out next week. We'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye. Primal of life dropped to the floor, seemingly there. Valencia wiped the blood off her dress and face as she sat beside him, rubbing her arms around him. Excuse me. Out of some seeming and naked.